I'll keep my thing.
Yeah, I'm not moving.
I haven't gotten that far yet. Give me a few moments.
Oh, Dennis is here. He looks pretty good for Dennis.
We better? We happy now? You'll never be happy. You're just gonna crabby about shirts.
That's until you get with the program.
Put my dashboard.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
My daughter. Yeah, well, last week. That's like that. What for you? There's a health insurance training. I think that's why it was so high.
No, I'm okay, but shouldn't the ratio be the same across all of the departments? I mean, if it's 6% for one department, shouldn't it be 6% for all departments?
For a funny guy to take the higher enhancement, this was a health insurance change for someone, had a single family, a single.
Oh, you group, okay, I got you. I'm good. I'm good. Got you. Thank you. Thank you.
I got a chair.
What are they defined?
Oh, no. You need more chairs. Fend for yourself. Is,
Schedule.
I'm sure they do. Yeah, that'll go.
you need a chair. Oh,
Man, to get-
Is Jillian coming?
Nope.
All right.
No, I think that.
Mind standing?
You don't have a chair?
Exercising every day.
Oh, that's certainly one of the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sure they are. I have to start. That's what I tell my wife. Whenever I say that, somebody mentioned.
It's very under,
Might be a new line item in capital in a budget. Yeah.
we,
For sure.
are they gonna spend any money on the trustees? Oh, sorry. Think they'd spend any money on this?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There.
He said office trees works.
You can spend a couple of great.
All
right, there we go. Like to call this meeting to order. It's a special meeting of the Village Board on Wednesday, September 6th at around 6:30 PM or a little later. And we're located at the Germantown Village Hall Boardroom. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with sections 19.83 and 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action Roll call shows all village board members present except for trustee Peeper, who is excused. At this time, I'll ask us all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is citizen input, public appearance. If there's anyone within our audience that would like to come forward for citizen input or public appearance, or anyone joining us via WebEx, you're welcome to do so at this time. If you're within our audience, I'd like you to come up to the podium and state your name and your address for the record. And if you are joining us via WebEx, please make your intentions known so that the moderator can allow you to speak when your time comes around. So at this time, Mr. Heffley. I think you're on.
Right on, okay.
No, you're on.
Scott Heffley, W159N10514 Old Farm Road, Germantown. 2 points, maybe a little lengthy, but I tend to talk fast, so I'll get through it. I'll say 2 points of concern, and I'm sure everybody up there will know what I'm talking about when I do them. First of all, the Grosnick parcels. And this goes back to a plan commission meeting on August 14th, where a local resident had a CUP application presented, wanted to relocate his business from another community to ours. Okay. A lot of discussion. I was there for the entire meeting, saw everything. The commission voted to forward to the village board with a positive recommendation for approval. Now, you haven't met and discussed this, but the gentleman wanted the CUP so it would be functional for his business and then to put an offer on the property with Mr. Grosnick. So what have I found out? I've heard things. So I asked people that I know, I have resources in the village, and they say that the village was going to purchase it. And I'm like, okay, I know you can't comment on it in open session because you discussed it in closed, except you put the contract to purchase the parcels in the drop-down information to the residents. So I don't know if you meant to do that. If you wanted to do it in closed session, I wouldn't have. But now I know what the village is looking to do. So why did we take a resident that wanted a CUP application that was going to be pushed to the village board with a positive recommendation, and the village pushed them out of the way to buy the properties? Okay. And I don't know if you bought the properties, but there's an offer to purchase out there. And again, I know this village has resources, but so do the residents. So I would like to know what is going on with it. Okay. Somebody needs to tell me, and I know you went in closed session, but you came back to open and you voted about what to do. And I was told that I can know what happened in the open session, even though I wasn't here. So if there was a vote taken, I would like to know if the village is looking to purchase those parcels. Likely there needs to be a public hearing because we would be using taxpayer funds. So if I'm wrong, and I've stated this before this board before, you can tell me I'm wrong, but you have to tell me why. So somebody should reach out to me. My own trustees would be fine. So the other thing is, when I was here for Plan Commission, we had a gentleman from Land and Stone, I believe, trying to rehab the parcel over there on Appleton. And I think I've said it before, we tend to run people through the ringer that are residents. I don't get it, why we do it. And I don't want to see this again where we say, well, you can do that, but you need to put a path around your property, or you need to make a donation to the Park and Rec Department. I don't care if it's been done before. That's complete BS. It sounds like pay for play. It sounds like blackmail. It sounds like a lot of bad things. Okay. If he wants to donate to Park and Rec, that's fine. He wants this for a homestead, and we don't need to put a resident path around it for thousands of dollars. That's BS. Thank you.
Thank you for coming forward. Is there anyone else that wishes to come forward at this time for citizen input or public appearance?
Melanie Smythe, N140W17938 Cedar Lane. Good evening. I'm also concerned about the Grosnick properties being purchased. I think it's a bad time in this economy for us to be adding debt onto the rolls. We just had a long conversation about saving money and found out that over the last 3 years, $6+ million has been spent on engineering. Well, if we can come together and figure out a DPW director and an engineer, hopefully we should be able to make some savings there. At the previous meeting, I asked that the committee, and now I'm asking this village board, direct the administrator to take a look at an across-the-board cut of 6%. Maybe it doesn't have to be that much now that we know about those engineering fees, and a reduction in 10% of road work. I think if you have those numbers, you'll see how harsh it is. It's not going to be fun. It's something, though, that you have to do from an obligation standpoint. It's a duty that you have. It's your fiduciary duty to look at these things. So I would appreciate it, and I would appreciate the leadership if you took the initiative to do that. Regarding the Groesbeck, since if you do purchase that, that means there'll be no revenue coming from that those lands. Since you are purchasing it at list price, you're purchasing it at the highest amount, and therefore you're making it more expensive for a developer to develop, which means the units will have to be higher or numbers higher. It also means that we would lose any of the revenue coming from the business that wanted to move there. We would also lose any revenue that his employees would generate by coming to our village and spending money at the restaurants or possibly even living here. If we are going to be taking money from the EDWC, which seems pretty likely with the various meetings that have been had lately, we would be reusing tax monies that had been awarded by a government, whether it's ARPA dollars or previously taxed money, so that we'd be paying back a loan on tax dollars by paying more fees and interest on top of tax dollars. I mean, this is double taxation. It's terrible. The other part of you doing this means that you are actively distorting Germantown's real estate market. I've heard a number of you complain about how high land costs are. Well, you've created that situation by going with open checkbook to these individuals and saying, yeah, sure, we'll write you $1.2 million and see where that goes. You've created that situation. See, I think that's about it. Thanks.
Thank you for coming forward. Is there anyone else that wishes to come forward at this time for citizen input or public appearance? Is there anyone joining us online that would like to come forward? There's no one else. We can then go on to the next item on the agenda, which is consent agenda.
Motion to approve Roman numeral 5A through J.
Motion made and seconded to approve consent agenda items A through J. And a second. Is there any discussion on that motion? Trustee Nyrider.
Stephen, I'm going to just ask you the question. Aren't there some items H, I, J that require us to take some action or decision on, on one of them, which plan we want or whatever? If I remember skimming through it real quickly this afternoon. But was it item L or what was it where?
It was on the CIVMIC contract. Whoa, I'm sorry. It was on the CIVMIC contract and it was recommended to take option 1 by GGF. So unless unless you wanted to change the recommendation from GGF, that's fine.
Further discussion on a motion to approve consent agenda items? No further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Baum. Trustee Kaminsky. Trustee Hudson.
Aye.
Trustee Myers.
Aye.
Trustee Nyrider.
Aye.
Trustee Rick Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Jan Miller.
Aye.
President Walter.
Aye. Okay, that motion passes. That takes care of all items on tonight's agenda for the special meeting of the village board. There's nothing else that anybody would like to announce. This meeting can be adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. Have a good night. Our next board meeting would be Public Safety will commence shortly after we do some regrouping and rearranging of chairs.